like to kick every episode off by going around the table, which is where we talk about something new, fun, and noteworthy about our weeks. And if you can't tell, we are here.
This is me.
We're right here. This is us.
This is us.
Sorry.
So if you're listening to this on iTunes, this doesn't make any sense to you. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you know that you can see our faces, and it is
Welcome to us.
I don't know if it's good or bad. I guess that's up to you to decide. But
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It has been a long time coming, and we have been, gosh, this has been not easy.
It's been a long time coming, just in the immediate past.
You don't even know how many times we've tried this, and but here we are. We made it. So, Patrick, why don't you kick off our around the table?
Absolutely, guys. I am panicked. I've never had to look at this many buttons and meters.
I know.
At like the same time, and it is absolutely terrifying that like something is going wrong right now.
Yep.
Also, my nose itches, but I'm pretty sure when you have a camera pointing in your face, you don't touch your nose. So if that's
Why?
I think if you have to do it, you just have to do it, Patrick. There's no way you're gonna not do it.
Got it. And did you see how classy that was? Okay,
that was super classy.
So basically this week, because we've jumped into a new recording schedule in order to accommodate video very well, we're actually recording several episodes very closely together. So normally in this section, we would have like 7 full days of content to pull from. The reality is right now we have like 2. But the big thing that happened would be the Apple keynote event. That would absolutely announcing the Watch the 3 series.
Yeah.
Announcing the everybody was only listening to the announcement for the phone, right?
But there's a 4K Apple TV box, right?
Which I wanted more. I mean, because the problem is if I get that,
Patrick wanted 5Ks.
No, but like the problem is I have a 5-year-old TV, so like I can get the 4K Apple TV.
I thought they were going to actually have a TV.
I did too. The way that they kind of set everything up, I'm like, yeah, here's what's next. Oh, it's the same thing, just higher resolution.
Yep.
But to be fair, I think they've been pretty blatant that they're getting out of the screen business, hence the fact that there is no Apple monitor anymore. And mine is breaking, and I have nothing to do about it. But 4K Apple TV didn't do much for me, but the big announcement was the phone. So they announced the 8, the 8 Plus, larger sizes. Certainly, it's bigger, stronger, faster, whatever.
All the things that Daft Punk says.
Every one of those words. There's like 20. And then the big thing would be that the X model, which is...
the 10.
Yeah.
Which is really the 9.
iPhone 10.
9.
Just skipped right over 9. Went straight to 10.
Yeah. It's a bit of like what Microsoft pulled with Windows, right?
Yeah.
Man, I keep wanting to call it X because it makes so little sense to me to go from 8 to 10. But that being said, they announced that, and then
well, if you're counting in twos or if you're going in even numbers,
you're right. I mean, you're right.
So.
Yeah. Well, case closed. So anyway, honestly, like my feelings about it, I'm not going to upgrade. I was pretty big letdown. I understand. Like, I think the support for ARKit and VRKit, the fact that that's open up to developers, we're going to see some really cool things come from that. Certainly, they had a couple cool things to show off, but like fast forward 6 months from now or a year from now, that's the stuff that's really going to make the phone super useful, frankly. But the stuff we saw, the stuff we focused on, I think certainly we didn't see anything that I would just say feels
animated
very...
poop emojis. I mean, that was what we focused on.
Well, here's the thing. You're right. It was the animojis.
Yeah.
And it was these new light fixture, light. What 2 words did I just combine? But
you combine light fixtures.
You're talking about portrait lighting.
Yes, exactly. Portrait lighting. That was the other thing. The idea that this is not a filter, but we are actually using the light in the environment and manipulating it. And whatever. I don't care. I mean, it seems weird to me that in a society that increasingly spends more time with video and like rapidly sharing video, that I feel like we didn't see anything on that side.
Yeah.
And considering this is the first event in the Steve Jobs Theater, which is a big deal, and this is the 10th anniversary, I guess, of the phone, and it's supposed to be this really big thing to focus all your time on and emojis. It just seemed off to me. It just seems weirdly put together. I'm not saying that people don't get on board with that. I mean, there are people that like that they're going to buy the phone simply for that reason, or they're going to upgrade their OS simply for that reason.
There's a good chance those people aren't listening to this show, though.
It just seemed in honoring on a 10th anniversary, the first time in Steve Jobs' theater, in honoring his legacy, which is, something that they set out to do, and that's how they framed the event to start.
Right.
It just seems weird that that's what they chose to focus most of their time on. I mean, I think the AR stuff is really cool, but we frankly didn't get a sense of what the capability is there beyond seeing a tabletop game. And we've seen those demos from like Microsoft demoing
the HoloLens.
Yeah, exactly. We've just seen all this stuff. So, they show us a charging mat that's not going to come out for another year. And we've already, and it's what you've already heard people say. These technologies are already out there. Other people are already implementing them and using them. It feels pretty behind the curve. Honestly, the most exciting announcement for me completely was that you could use the watch untethered from the phone.
Yeah.
To me, that was the big news. I 100%
agree with that.
Yeah. I am disappointed that you still have to have the phone. Because it's like you still can't be fully untethered. So looking forward, what would I like to see? Man, if they would have a wearable that was fully untethered from the phone, I don't know that I would need my phone anymore because I work a job that I'm sitting at my laptop all the time.
Sure.
The second thing is, I'm sure they do the research. They know I'm very interested in something that goes on your wrist, but maybe doesn't have to fit the form of a watch specifically. And I hope to see something in that area. And I think my other big thought,
like a Pip-Boy.
Well,
like a chastity belt.
I need a bangle. I want an iPhone bangle, basically.
You want like a Pandora bracelet iPhone watch.
Yeah. No, it's like you said Pip-Boy.
Yeah.
Pip-Boy. Yeah, like that, but like 20% the size.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, slim Pip-Boy.
Like a QB play screen.
Ooh, yeah.
But
I would totally wear a half sleeve
screen
wearable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it could be great. Get some more real estate so we can solve some of the UI issue, and I can get rid of my phone and just have that. Oh, I would love that.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because you're going to hear about this on our
morons
Thursday.
walking around like this.
That's how you're going to drive now. That's just now you have a phone and an entire arm in front of your field of view.
What?
But it's funny because we actually touched on it in the Thursday episode. But the other thing I hope I see, and maybe we actually will at the next event, because this is something that happens in the first part of the year. I would love for the iPad to be able to be an end-to-end solution when it comes to either design workflow or development workflow. And it doesn't make sense that it's not. I mean, we're talking about, I imagine from on a spec sheet, an iPad Pro blows away a MacBook Air. And so it doesn't make sense that there are things that I can do on this device I can't do on this device because it's just I feel like it's just software limitation at this point. And I want iPad to be the iPad Pro to be an end-to-end solution. I think that's the thing that I hope will happen next because I think that's going to drastically change the devices that I have and what my workflow looks like. I don't know that, there is also the thing of, does Apple really want to ever untether the watch? Because then you don't need the phone. Do they really want to make it where you don't need the laptop?
They definitely want to
keep
you in the ecosystem as much as possible.
So
from a business perspective, it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Certainly. I hope we don't start forcing these unnecessary connections just because we want you to feel like you need all four devices.
Well, the thing that's going to happen is other companies are going to do the same thing, but fully. So you'll be able to get a wearable with a LTE plan from Microsoft or from Garmin or from Samsung or whatever.
The people who don't have a market for the other products. Right.
So we'll start seeing that eventually. It's not. Totally. I'm sure it's not very far away.
So anyway, those are kind of my broad thoughts on it. So pretty disappointed by the event, but I guess if I think back to the last couple of years, I don't know that there's been one I've just been super jazzed for.
Sure.
This is jazz. But yeah, so that's been the big event that has happened since we spoke last, family. Yep. Andrew, why don't you pick it up? Continue us around the table.
Sure. So all of that being said, but by the time we record by the time this episode airs, I will have pre-ordered my 8 Plus. I have the Sprint iPhone Forever plan, so I literally just tell them I just pre-order my next one, and then they send me the new one. So there's never no reason for me to not get the new one. Never no not
There's
reason.
never no.
There is always not time for me to not. I should always get the new one.
Here's the
That's
thing, though. Here's the
what I'm
thing
trying to
about
say.
this that is amazing that it's happening right now. Everybody is seeing you get through this, not
Shut
just
up.
hearing you get through it. They're seeing it.
I was actually with you thinking you were
beautiful.
going to say something of substance, and then I realized that you were just making fun of me.
No, I knew that he wasn't going to say anything of substance.
So I'm really excited. This weekend marks the release of Mother, which is the Jennifer Lawrence film that looks absolutely crazy.
I'm good. I'm good.
I am so excited to see that film, and man, I've been watching. So here is something that has happened since the last time we recorded. I have caught up. I've watched the first 2 episodes of American Horror Story. Holy crap! This year is pretty intense, and
Like,
it all
fully
focuses.
creepy.
Yeah, this year focuses on. So it's called Cult. And it focuses on the election. Like the first episode is election night between Trump and Hillary, and seeing
like
the
actually
world.
them?
Yeah, it's actually them. It shows actual news clips and shows actual speech clips from the campaigns, and then it's two different parties' perspective of that. One party is a lesbian couple. Sarah Paulson, I think is her name. She's like one of the regulars on the show. She's part of a lesbian couple, and her wife have a son. And of course, they're devastated that Donald Trump wins. And then there's this guy with like dyed blue, like stringy hair in his basement, wearing sitting in his basement watching, and when Trump wins, he like is ecstatic and excited about it and talking about how we're going to take back America. And so it's that's the dynamic that starts. And what you start to see happen is with Sarah Paulson, I think that's her name. If that's not it, just give me grace. Her character, we find out that she has a fear of clowns. And it's like a very irrational fear of clowns. But what you start to realize after the end of episode 1 is maybe it's not so irrational. And she keeps seeing clowns that are like, tormenting her. And people keep thinking she's crazy, but maybe she's not so crazy. But holy cow, it's like within the first 2 episodes, there have already been several murders, like gruesome murders, throat slitting, and all that kind of jazz. So if you are a fan of like the horror genre this year, it seems like they're there to please. So
It's like this month.
it's crazy
Well, I'm just saying, like the films that are coming out right
with
now,
it and Mother and yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
You've got
There's
a
a
lot
lot-
to choose from.
A lot of blood. So I guess that makes sense. We're rounding into fall and Halloween time, so it makes sense for all this stuff to be coming out. Honestly, so and Walking Dead comes back soon.
But these are like the good ones. Like all the really bad horror films, like the super campy ones. That's like February. So like
Yeah.
you're getting like the cream of the crop of the stuff right now.
Right. So if you're into that thing, now's the time. So I think that's it for my around the table. Yeah. So Luke, why don't you take us to the end of it?
Patrick really hit the big one of my week was the same. I mean, the Apple event. Honestly, it pushed me even more. I've been debating in the last like couple months of switching out of iPhone universe. I have the watch. I have an iPad. I have an iPhone. I switched to PC a while ago. I'm just kind of sick of Apple. I guess I don't know. I think I just want something different to try it. I might be wrong. Who knows? But after seeing the keynote, I waited because I was like, okay, this could be awesome and it'll make me stick with it. The 8 is not enough of an upgrade for me to think it's worth it. And the 10 is just too expensive. I'm not going to spend that much money on a phone. So I think I'm going to go Android. So I'm looking into like what device to get. I saw Patrick just showing me the Pixel 2, which I I had the original, not the Pixel, but when it came out, the N1, which was like the first Google phone, and I loved it. It was incredible. So that has me intrigued. I'm sure it's not going to be super cheap, but I think it'll be cheaper than an iPhone X. But yeah, who knows? I think that's kind of what I'm leaning to, and we'll see. I'll keep you updated on that journey.
I'm pretty close to being there with you. Like I already use a PC for all the stuff I do at the house. The reason I stay with the MacBook is just for some of my dev workflow and some other people that I work with. It makes sense to do that for work.
Sure.
But I will say that the phone, like I'm very interested to see the Pixel announcement. I believe that's October 4th that we get that. The only thing, I mean, Apple still makes great interfaces, and so that is like
you're right.
That is like the one thing that I'm just like I would rather have. I would rather have subpar hardware than have a subpar interface or a frustrating experience.
Sure.
But I'll be watching it very closely with you.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for the Around the Table. Up next, we're going to talk some master categories. The master categories section of every week is when we get to talk about the tokens we drew the week before. And since this is primarily visual now, I'm going to show you what these tokens look like. You know, I don't think this is the first opportunity for the general population to see that these tokens are very real. These aren't just hypothetical. We don't just draw them. They're not pieces of paper or whatever. So
I so want this to be underwhelming.
These are the tokens. Let me get them oriented the appropriate way. TV and film, toys and games.
It's upside down.
Art and design. Yeah, that's fine. And then here's the back of them. So it has the logo. So they are like sturdy tokens.
Made
These
by
things are the real
Jim
deal.
Dawson, Sinner Jim.
Yeah, Sinner Jim Dawson.
Yeah.
So these are the tokens. So when we talk about drawing tokens in the categories, this is what we're talking about. Okay, so Luke, since you finished us off, why don't you lead us into this one?
Cool. Yeah, mine's gonna be pretty quick. I got TV and film, and so I've been catching up on MasterChef. That show, I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. I still like it. Like, this food still looks beautiful, and it still makes me hungry every time I watch it. So I like that. For some reason, I missed the finale of the latest season of Great British Bake Off. So I watched that. It's so, like, we've talked about that show plenty of times. The thing I will say again about that show, everybody is so nice to each other, and they want to win, but they want everybody to succeed. Like, they will help each other. They will do whatever they can. They'll remind each other of things. They encourage each other. And, like, it's just so different from even MasterChef. It's like the complete opposite almost.
Could you imagine if they did a great Canadian Bake Off?
It would be insane. They would probably be a team.
Everyone would just like give it like, no. He can have the win.
But yeah, so I watched that. That was great. That show is just incredible. And then I started this other show on Netflix. And I don't know why, because it's terrible. I'm gonna watch it to see if it keeps being terrible or gets better. I'm talking about Van Helsing. So this came out last year. The Hugh
Jackman one.
Not the Hugh Jackman one. No, that one was 2004, I think.
Same universe?
Same lore. It's not the same universe.
Sure, but it's not same lore, but it's not like built inside of like
no, not the same world at all.
Extension of the movie world or something.
No. It is. It's a sci-fi show. It's on Netflix now. It is set in 2019, 2020-ish.
Okay, so it takes place in modern times.
Yeah, vampires have taken over the streets.
It takes place when the Apple mat comes out.
Right.
Shut up.
It's like Walking Dead, but vampires. So these vampires are like kind of feral. Some of them appear more intelligent, but for the most part, they're pretty feral. And this girl who turns out to be an ancestor, or her ancestor was the original Van Helsing. She is somehow reborn or reincarnated, or wakes up, and now she is the last hope of humanity for these vampires. And it's just really cheesy writing, super bloody, super violent. It's just
So the point of wait, I'm trying to track with you. The main gist of it is that this lady is there to protect the vampires.
no, kill vampires. She's here to
kill the vampires. Okay, I'm like,
the normal
that seems
people.
like a really strange premise.
No, yeah. She's like was in a coma for like 3 years, and
Naturally.
she wakes up and she is now protecting these survivors.
So
and
she
on a
is the
quest
Rick
to-
Grimes.
Yeah, well, she's Van Helsing. She is the Van Helsing. She is the Rick
I know,
Grimes.
but she's
yeah.
but she's been
Yeah. So it's pretty bad. It's not great, but it's fun to watch because
Was
it's
this?
so
Did
bad.
Netflix recommend this to you?
Yeah, because of I think when I watched Death Note, it started adding some of that stuff in there, and I saw this and I was like, oh, Van Helsing, I like that lore. Let's check it out. And man, it is just a crap fest. But if you like bad stuff, watch it because it's funny.
And then immediately go watch Walt before Mickey, because that also is just.
That's the other
Man.
crap fest.
I heard Gabe Barletta, one of our Slack
Yep.
Slack members, said, "I'm taking that off of my queue now."
It took me a second to get what he was talking about,
Yeah.
but yes. Wait, hey, listen, you cost them some money, so
I don't care. They cost me time.
Yeah.
no,
I
I'm
lost time.
just saying. What I'm saying is, you just had an impact in this world.
Yeah.
you changed
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, that's one less whatever percentage that John Heater gets for playing Roy Disney. And you know what? He should pay me all the money he has made for the amount of time I watched him play Roy Disney.
It seems like such a weird whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
we're past that.
Yeah. And we're past my category. So Patrick,
Okay.
take it over.
Dude, that
Awesome.
was seamless. I
Yeah,
loved that
until you
segue.
pointed
Luke.
it out.
You were
You're
killing
right.
it.
That was great. Let's just edit this part out.
Video has suited you well, Luke. You're really upping your
I
game
don't
here.
think anyone has ever said that about me, but thanks.
That's the most smiling I think you've ever done in your entire
Did you
life.
see him use a hand gesture?
Yeah.
I've never.
He
I
usually
didn't know he had
sleeps on the
hands.
couch while we record.
I do. I wish I could right now.
Face down. Yeah. Okay. So I have toys and games this week. Exciting, and it came at an appropriate time, kind of. You'll understand why. So basically, there's this internet corner of the world.
So
called,
far, you are doing great.
There is this internet.
See, listen. This is what I'm doing. This is like Westworld right now. I'm setting up like all of these like beginnings to stories.
Sure.
Okay, and then I'm gonna wait 8 episodes to then explain how they connect. That's just what's happening. So
Great.
it's gonna speed up. It's basically a site called Reddit. You've heard of it. And but there's kind of this like this family site that's the Reddit exchange, I believe is what it's called. And the idea is that it started with the Secret Santa tradition, and basically it's grown to where they still use the terminology Secret Santa, but they have these themed events, and they might have several every month. Okay, and I think at any given time there's like 10 to 15 going on, and it's things like they'll have a cooking exchange, and they'll have a vinyl toy exchange, and they'll have a stamp, like I guess if you like stamps collecting
Wait,
exchange.
hold
and
on.
baseball.
Can I stop you?
Yes.
What is the cooking exchange? What is that? Like, you actually sending like a casserole to someone, and they're sending you like.
I mean, I guess you could. But no, I think it's more like...
I don't think you should, though.
I think
No.
it's more like cookbooks or maybe recipes or maybe like cooking
Okay, that makes more sense.
paraphernalia,
I'm like,
you know...
I'm not gonna eat something from somebody from the internet, like random made, like tuna casserole.
Luke, we need to work on
my
your
gosh,
trust.
you should never
No.
ship tuna, for sure.
Or you will ship tuna.
You'll be lucky if you stop shipping tuna. But there was a board game exchange, and it seemed like there were actually two I participated in this month. One was the hometown exchange. So you would like send things from your city, like they represent your city, and you would whatever swap.
Please
with
tell
people.
me you sent like a Maple Street biscuit.
Well, so I
Pimento
sent
cheese?
It's funny. I sent a food item. I sent Hoff sauce, which is like it's a hot sauce by a guy named Hoff. He's a designer that lives. His last name's Hoff. He's a designer that lives and works in Chattanooga, and he has Hoff sauce, and it's on Amazon. Like I did an out of the country one, so you want to use Amazon, so you don't have to deal with like all the rigmarole of like make sure that you filled out the right forms and.
Ironically,
and
what they sent you was rigmarole.
well, they sent me a tuna rigmarole. That's what I'm getting.
Hoff sauce is great on a rigmarole.
So, but the board game exchange. So I sent Hoff sauce, and then I sent what was the other item? It was something to do, I think, with Moon Pie because Moon Pie was started
yeah.
Sure.
in Chattanooga. So, no, I didn't. I was gonna send a Moon Pie thing, and you can't ship Moon Pies out of the country apparently. So
What?
instead, Wayne White, who did, and we need to get him on the show. Wayne White, who did all the set design for like Pee Wee's Playhouse. He did the music video tonight for Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, yeah.
Those things. He has a book, and so I sent him his coffee table book because he's from Chattanooga, and he's actually doing residency like in Chattanooga now,
cool.
just creating art. So
Yeah, I do think we should reach out. We've talked about reaching out to him many times.
I pass within a mile of the guy every single day of his studio when I go to work.
Yeah,
and
let's fix that.
yeah, it's crazy. I haven't talked to him. So anyway, sorry.
Especially
So
now that we're video. He'd be a guy who you'd want to see.
he would do the entire interview wearing a 30-foot cardboard mask. So
Yeah,
we should
let's
do
put
it.
the mic inside though, because it'd be hard. To
Yeah,
hear him.
it'd be too
So-
far away.
So I did that. I didn't mean to get so caught up on the hometown exchange, but I also did a board game exchange, and so I got to send a game to somebody. So I sent y'all a text this week asking you to choose, and y'all said Alchemist. So I sent Alchemist to a guy in California, and
Good choice.
I haven't heard back. I hope he loves it. We'll see. But
You
I
said it's a
So
We'll
we'll
see?
see.
no, this guy's name's like Psyduck or something.
Uh,
But I received another game, and 1 second while I get it.
Oh, you can
Down.
see it now.
I should have put that closer. I need like a shelf. Like
a desk. Maybe just
I
like
could have just put it in my lap. Oh my gosh, I could have put it on my desk this whole time. So
do you know how much stuff I have on my desk ready to show you guys?
I know.
One
And
thing.
So I received.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm still learning how the camera works. But the game Clank. That's
Clank.
what it is. So have any of y'all played this game?
I have not played it.
No.
I saw a demo at Gen Con and I didn't have time to wait to play it. It's been out a while and it's got crazy good reviews.
Yeah, so that's what I was looking at. It's ranked 55 overall
Yeah.
on Board Game Geek. And so from what I understand, and I'm going to unwrap this real quick and just see if I can maybe pull out some of the cards or something so you can see it.
Yeah.
But because I haven't played it yet, literally I'm pulling the wrapping off now. So that's the reason I said that this is kind of appropriate. I can't really tell you much about the game because I'll literally play it for the first time. I think we're playing tomorrow.
Nice.
But my understanding is that it is a deck building game, right? So you're going to be gaining ability as you go, and that you're trying to plunder this treasure from an underground cave. But there's a dragon, and you don't want to wake the dragon up because
Well, naturally. Why would you want an awoken dragon?
An
An awakened?
Hence, maybe
Awoken.
you're just making sure he's still alive and
Awoke.
all that kind of stuff. Okay, so
Woke dragon.
first impression, and
No.
I won't do like a full. Just consider this like a mini unboxing. So here's the game board right here.
The board is dense.
Yeah, it is, and it's. I'm gonna be honest. You look at the box, and the box is super exciting in this really detailed bright illustration. And then this isn't. It's less so. And then the
You're
other
so
thing is,
good with words.
thank you. And I'll say this too, it has a bunch of punch out pieces. This is probably feels like 75% of the weight of a house, haunted house on the hill. What's that called?
Oh, yeah. House on
The
Haunted
Trailer
Hill.
House on Hill.
Yeah. These don't
that.
feel nearly as premium as those tokens do. So,
Nice.
don't get me wrong, they're still heavier stock. It's not like you're playing with paper,
Right.
but again, it just doesn't feel quite as premium.
Sure.
Instructions, those are great. There are some. Oh, here's the dragon. There's that guy. I mean, that's. Oh, can you focus on this? Let's see. Forget, I'm spending way too much time. You can't tell. It's okay. But
Can you hold it up for us to see?
Oh yeah, I have two
That's
cameras.
a dragon.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and he's just carved out of wood.
It's just a meeple.
Dragon. Oh.
And let me say this. This Sony A6000 is really great about not losing focus of my face because it never once broke focus to show that dragon.
Oh, I have mine set to automatic or continuous or something, right?
You can do like object follow, so like it'll set on your face and like not leave it. It's really cool. And then apparently all the pieces are just square.
Cubes.
So cubed. Yeah, not terribly. Yeah, I guess it does have depth, so it's a cube. In bag to put it in, which okay, hold on.
Ooh.
That's a dragon.
Ooh.
This is so far the most premium piece of the game. And then all the cards. And the cards.
I'm interested to see the art on the cards. Can you just like unwrap? Can you please?
Yeah. Well, you get a pretty good sense. I'm gonna open one of the decks. All three of the decks have a person on front, and so I don't know if like the internals are different. I can't imagine this is like tons of people. Oh no, that's what they. Okay, I see. It's not just people; it's items. So this is an example, and again, it feels a bit dated. So that's an example for you. Of what they kind of feel like.
It's kind of like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit. And so, like, if you
How
go through,
old is the game?
It's not very old.
Okay.
see that they're all kind of like that level. So
it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like my favorite kind of art, but it doesn't look bad.
yeah, I mean, yeah. To clarify, no, it looks clear. I mean, in that, like, if just looking at the card, there's obviously it's showing like buffs. It's showing the slot that it fits on.
Right.
It's showing like a description of the use. The information on the card seems really clear, like laid out, easy to read. I mean, I've not played this game, but I can make sense of that from just a glance. So all that stuff seems really positive. Again, I think the box itself, whoever did all the artwork for this, I think that's just awesome.
Yeah.
That's free. It's just epic, and it's just good stuff. And it apparently plays really well. I mean, it's got an 8.0 on Board Game Geek, and it's
55 overall seems like that's a pretty good,
Yeah.
pretty good rating.
Yeah, exactly. So, and as long as it plays well, I don't care what it looks like.
Sure.
So no, I'm pumped to play the game. So there's like basically a quick unboxing. So once I actually get to play Clank, it'll be sometime in this next week. So just expect next Tuesday's episode that I'll probably around the table just follow up on probably be something along the lines of, hey, that was a ton of fun. So it looks good. Clank, don't shy away from it. Everything is telling me it's going to be awesome. So just go pick
But
up
it has
some
two
coffee and be done with
expansions
it.
too. There's like an underwater expansion that came out last year, and then this year was another expansion. I can't remember off the top of my head what came out, but it's like a maybe jungle or something. I don't know. But they have support. They're continuing to make stuff for it. So yeah, it's cool.
Perfect. No, I think that's great. And let me real quick just apologize because I realized that on a lot of that, I was not giving a lot of very good verbal descriptions. So the podcast crowd, it might be feeling a bit left out right now. But you know what? I messed up. Number 2, you can just join us on YouTube. So there'll be a link in the show notes so you can join and subscribe.
We're
or you can
still
go to the
new to
website.
this. Like,
That's
we
right.
need to figure out a happy balance. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Like,
This
we're all
is-
transitioning together.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely sign up for YouTube or after you listen to the episode, go pull up the link and thumb through and look at this stuff because it is definitely worth seeing. So that only leaves Andrew.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I have art and design this week, and I'm actually going to talk about something and then show you guys something that is near and dear to my heart. So you've heard me talk about, if you've listened to the show for any extended period of time, Over the Garden Wall. This is a show that was a mini-series done by Cartoon Network a couple years back that is incredibly unique, super fun, super creative, a little dark, a little mysterious, but overall it's highly acclaimed as being this really fun, eclectic show.
Yep.
Elijah Wood, I believe, was Wirt's voice, like one of the main characters. Elijah Wood voiced him, but there's this really like just kind of intrinsically unique soundtrack to the show, and there's these really fun songs and stuff with it. And so just so you know, we just saw the re-release of a bunch of stuff from Mondo, and so you know when something is getting the Mondo treatment, it's got some kind of legs to it, right? So this past weekend, two posters came out that I'm excited about. By the time we're recording this, they haven't been released yet, so I'm hoping to get my hands on one of them at least. I imagine I will have gotten my hands on one, but you can go to mondotees.com and you can see them. But the one that I really want is Sam Wolf Conley. He did the artwork of what I'm getting ready to show you in a second. But he did a poster for them. It's 18 by 24. It looks beautiful. It's the main character standing in a field looking out over the distance and the tree. Are you seeing it, Patrick?
I looked at it earlier today, and I knew there were two posters, and I was waiting for you to start describing which one. The one you're talking about is beautiful.
It's amazingly
I've never
beautiful.
seen the show, and like even for me, it's just like, yeah, it's great.
It totally captures a feeling. There's a feeling.
Oh,
there. And
absolutely.
And the second piece is by George Bletsis. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Bletsis. And this piece is wholly different. It's if you've seen the show, there is the frog band on this river boat, and there's a poster that George has done that is Wirt and his brother. I'm blanking on his name right now. And the Rock Fact Rock and the frogs playing music in this band. It's beautiful. It's super colorful. It also captures a feeling, another piece of the show, but two very different.
That and they did was... I'm not saying anything rude. That one was not... It did not capture feeling for me.
Sure, but you haven't seen the show. Like
fair.
They both capture a different feeling from the show. They're totally different feelings. But that's kind of the fun of the show, is it has kind of a little bit of something for everybody. And they re-released a cassette tape for Sarah. It's, if you've seen the show, it's kind of a main point of the show. But they re-released this cassette tape. It's totally fun, totally cool, and a pin set. So I wanted to show you guys, now that we have a visual component to it. I talked about this, probably over a year ago on the show, but now I get the opportunity to show you. So I got last year the soundtrack on vinyl, and so it is a 2-disc set. And I'm going to show you guys on here. And it's, like I said, it's done by Sam Wolf Conley. It's the same guy who did the one that Patrick and I were talking about that's got kind of like an amber feeling to it. And so here is the vinyl.
Totally works together.
They work perfectly together. That's why I'm hoping to get it. And it's got this lantern, which is a huge piece of the show. A lantern with the main character silhouetted. And then the hand of like the main antagonist right there on it. And then inside there is, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. There's like a spot UV
Oh yeah.
coating
Great.
of the main bad guy. And then you see the characters over there. So the whole sleeve is matte finish except for the bad guy, which is super cool. But then let me show you the what makes this even more unique. And I'll bet you I probably left the book not in here. Naturally, I didn't. Oh no, I have it. So here's the vinyl itself. Look at that.
That's cool.
Ooh, it's speckled. It's awesome. So there's that, and there's the eyeball on the back. It's just super, super cool. And then it's like this amber and orange and yellow speckled if you're just listening to this. And then it comes with this, which is super neat. This is a book, Into the Unknown. And in here, it has not only the lyrics to every song, but sheet music.
Oh, that's cool.
To play with each of the songs. And like I said, the songs are so unique, so clever. Some of them are ominous, some of them are eerie, some of them are just plain fun. But it comes with sheet music. Like, How cool is that? Totally random, totally cool.
Yeah.
But now that we have a visual component to the show, I thought it would be an awesome idea, especially with the re-release of all this other over the garden wall stuff. It was a perfect time to show that. So hopefully you've gotten on the over the garden wall train. If you haven't, go and do it. Go watch it. And then while you're at it, go pick up one of El Grego's prints that goes with it. It's so
It's
cool.
my favorite of his. I said that last time, but that is my favorite piece of his.
It's great, and hopefully I'll rearrange some things. You'll be able to see that, or once I get it in a frame, I'll be able to show it on the show. So that's it for my master category, which means I think that's it for all the master categories, right?
We did it.
We did it. We made it through. So go to mof1podcast.com where you can find show notes and links to all the stuff that we talked about in this episode. And go over to YouTube and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment below and like the video and share it. You know what to do with YouTube videos. I mean, I don't think I have to tell you. But it's super helpful.
You are a pro.
Who?
You are killing it. Keep it up.
Okay, thank you. I like the enthusiasm and the encouragement. Can you tell that my voice is almost gone?
Yeah.
You are like
good.
You are crawling to the finish line
I'm
right
just
now.
hanging on by a thread. I should have said this at the beginning, especially for the video people who see me keep cleaning my nose. I've been sick for like the last 2 days, and like it has taken every bit of energy to muster to make this thing happen. And when you consider this is like the 8th take, it doesn't help. It doesn't help things. But anyway, yeah. So go subscribe, like, share, comment below, and then on iTunes, rate and review and subscribe on there as well. It helps us out a ton. It helps us more than you know, and it doesn't cost you any money. It's just a like, and it's just a share, and it's just a subscription. So. After you do that, you can subscribe to or you can support the show on Patreon as well. Go to patreon.com/mf1podcast. For $5, it gets you the blooper level, which gets you some bonus content that's fun every month and gets you into our special Slack channel that's just for patrons.
Video bloopers.
Yeah, video bloopers are going to be... You can see more of this.
Yeah.
But
What's this doing for you?
But go over to Patreon and drop a couple bucks in the bucket. It helps us out a ton. We are only doing video because of our patrons. So thank you, patrons, for being so awesome. And we can't wait to have more of you in there because it's super helpful to us. And then go to Slack. Go to mf1podcast.com/Slack to join the conversation in there. We've mentioned several of the Slack members already in this episode, but it's such a great community. I can't say enough about it. We love you guys so much. If you're already on Slack, join us in there for the conversation.
You know what we should do? We need to just I'm going to institute this personally. I'm just going to do a weekly Slack shout out because I am surrounded by things that people in our community have made. It's like all around me. So I'm going to just make it a point every week to say, hey, this thing came from someone in the community.
You think maybe we could start that like next week?
Yeah, let's do it then.
Okay, cool. Because we were like in this outro time, and I just didn't know if it was okay. Cool.
But no, that's incentive. I'm saying if you're not in the community, join the community. It's amazing, and
then send Patrick stuff.
And then send me things. It's incentive.
Seriously, the Slack community is amazing. So join that, and you can never be alone again.
I just went to scratch my head and didn't realize I had a hat on.
The good news is everyone saw it.
Back up 8 seconds. Go ahead.
So we're on social media. Connect with us on there too. Join the conversation. Just search MF1 Podcast on all the different platforms. You can see if you're watching the YouTube channel, you can see our personal social media just above or below our heads, depending on where our videos are. And just connect with us on there. Guys, I think we're going to get out of our very first video episode, right?
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay. For the very first time on video, I'm Andrew.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Luke.
Peace out.
Bye.
Hold on to your butts.
Welcome to another episode of the Master of One podcast, the podcast that can now stare deep into your soul. This week, we talked to Cha Cha Cha. I tried doing it off of memory, and it didn't.
That's all you could remember.
Yeah. Yep. Listen, shut up. All right. Okay.